Hello again and welcome back to our course on Project 2019. In this section, I'm going to set you exercise 8. And in exercise 8, you're going to create your own report. Now, the name of the report will be My Management Summary. And I just want 3 things in the report. And I'll show you my answer in a couple of minutes. But let me first of all take you through the creation of the report and how we put those 3 components into the report. So first of all, if I go to the Report tab on the ribbon and click on New Report, I have a choice of starting from a blank report, starting from one with a chart, starting from one with a table, or I can start with a comparison. So we're going to start from a blank report. And the first thing it does is to ask for a name. And I'm going to call mine my initials and demonstration. And click on OK. So first of all I've got here is basically a text box. And if I want to change the wording there, I can do that just by clicking in the text box and making some changes. And if I want to format that text box, it's pretty easy. I can go up to my drawing tools format subtab and I can format it accordingly. So I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to add a shape fill, and I'm going to stick with my green theme and just select a light green color like so. Now when it comes to adding the components that I want to add, if for instance I wanted to add a chart, I could go to the Report Tools Design ribbon and click on Chart. So by default, I get a clustered column. Now, if I don't fancy using that one, I can choose any of these other charts that we have in the left-hand menu. So I could change it to a line graph or maybe a pie chart. It really depends how you want to display your data. So let's select pie chart and click on OK. And it comes out quite small, and by default I get certain data in that pie chart. Now look carefully at the field list on the right hand side. What I have at the moment in there, if you look down to the bottom at the filter, it says active tasks. So it's only showing me the tasks that are started but not completed. And you can see that by the grouping listed below. And then I have the outline level of all subtasks. And it also says no sort at the bottom. So that's a small little pie chart, not a particularly useful pie chart in this case. But I could choose to resize it if I want to by dragging the handles out. And notice not only does it resize the pie chart, but it also resizes the legend that we have underneath here. And now that I have this pie chart, I could choose to select these headings, and again I could go in and I could format those. So I could go to the Format ribbon. So now that I have my pie chart, and you may want to do some further formatting on this, I can just drag it around and move it and just make it so it sits neatly underneath that heading. Now what I'm going to do is to insert a table. And now what I'm going to do is insert another element into my report, and I'm going to insert a table. So again, up to the Report Tools Design subtab and select Table. And then we have my first little table, which I can drag around the screen and drop it wherever I like. I have my resize handle, so I can resize that table as well if I want to. Now at the moment, this table is working at the project summary level. And again, if you look down in the field list at the bottom, you can see that the filter applied is all tasks. They're not grouped, and the outline level is project summary. And you can see just above in the select fields area exactly what we have showing in that table. So we have name ticked, so we have a name column. And if I scroll down, you can see finish, you can see start, and we also have percentage complete. So say I wanted to remove, for example, the start date column. Now, you know how to do that. If we go to the field list, you can unclick Start, and that removes the column. The other thing to bear in mind is that the order of these columns in the table is governed by this little section down here. So in the field list right at the bottom, you can see we have name, finish, and percentage complete. So if I wanted percentage complete to show in the column after the name column, all I need to do is grab it by clicking my mouse and drag it in between those two. And you can now see that we have name, percentage complete, and finish. Now in the group by section, currently I have no group, but I could change that if I wanted to group by duration, or maybe I want to group by active versus inactive. And I'm just going to put that back to no group. And you can see that because my outline level is currently level 1, it's showing me all of those level 1 phases of the project and the percentage complete and the finish date. So again, I could make some changes to the outline group and say all subtasks, and that gives me a different way of looking at this table. Or I could just take it back to project summary. And what I'm probably going to want to do is, once I've got this how I want it to look, is move this into a nicer position. So maybe I want to put it directly under our chart and just resize it so everything fits in nicely. So you can start to see there how we're building up a custom report. So now that I've done that, I can open up this report at any time. And I can do that by going to Reports, going down to Dashboards and More Reports. And underneath Custom, you'll see any reports that you've created in there. So you can see my DA demonstration is listed there. And when I click on it, it's going to load that particular report. So nice and easy. Now, one final thing I might want to do here is I might not want to call it DA demonstration. I could go in here and change this to My Management Summary, like so. Now, having made my report, it's basically there and I can use it, I can open it at any time. And in a later section, I'll show you how you can share it with later projects. But let me go now to my answer to this question. And there is my management summary. As you can see, I've got the heading Management Report. The pie chart shows the baseline cost for each of the 4 phases of the bathroom refit. And note that one phase doesn't involve any costs, so there are only 3 slices of pie with costs associated. And the completed task table on the right, again, note the heading there, which isn't actually part of the table, of course. It has 3 columns: name, actual finish, and baseline finish. And the hierarchy is shown, and the contents of that table are sorted by actual finish. Of course, that's actual finish within the higher level summary tasks and phases. So for instance, within planning, it's in order of actual finish. And then again, in contractors, it's also in order of actual finish. So that's my answer for exercise 8. See how you get on with that. That's it for this section. Please join me in the next one.